Hey, come in. 1 second, okay? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to post a client's profile. It's really nice to see you in person. I know we spoke briefly on the phone, but it's very different seeing people face to face. How are you feeling? Great. Can I offer you water or any snacks? Okay, fine. We can definitely jump straight into this. So, first things first, have you ever done anything like this before? Got it. So, I want to assure you, you've made the right choice by going with our company. A lot of folks have so much to offer others, but it doesn't come across in their dating profile. So, today, we're just going to go through everything that you have and make some tweaks where they're needed. Does that sound all right? Do you have any questions? Oh, you don't have a dating profile. Okay. No, it should actually be a lot of fun. Yeah, we get to start with a blank slate. If you had a profile, we could have gone through that, and that's totally fine. Sometimes people can get a little defensive about suggestions to existing profiles because you're essentially critiquing what they think is their best self-presentation. So it can be a little jarring for people, but I found with folks that haven't had an account yet, they're way more willing to try different ways to highlight their best qualities, and they're just a lot more flexible in general. Which brings me to my first question. Would you be willing to do a photo shoot for your profile pictures? Excellent question. Okay, so the process would be as follows. You would come in on a day of your choosing, dressed in your favorite outfit, something that you find to be very flattering. You would also bring 2 additional outfits that you like to change into if needed. Our photographer will pose you in what they consider to be flattering positions. We'll also ask for access to your camera roll, and if you don't want to give that, that's fine. You can just send over a few pictures. I would suggest sending over pictures where you're on vacation or with friends, or just a wide variety of experiential pictures so that we can get a well-rounded idea of who you are. Then we'll go ahead and pick what we think are the most flattering images of you, and we'll send them to you for approval. If you approve them, then your profile pictures will be all set. Would that work for you? Okay. Any questions about that process or anything that you would like us to do differently or add? Great. Okay. If that's the case, would this Friday work with your schedule? Great. We have a 12 p.m., a 5 p.m., and a 7 p.m. slot. What works for you? 7 p.m. Okay. Got it. Okay. Now that that's all set, we're going to get into questions about you. You'll hear potentially other sounds of people in the office or conversations, laughter. Don't be distressed. We have almost complete privacy in here. My colleagues are aware that I am in session, and we have a very strict rule that if someone is in session, they are not to be disturbed. And this is because these questions can get a bit personal. Everything that we discussed today is going to be 100% confidential. Most of the information will not make it into your dating profile. What we're trying to figure out is who you are as an individual so that we can represent you in the most flattering way possible. We'll be putting together different profiles with different personas, and you will have the final say in what you think best represents you. We're not going to go through everything today, don't worry. I do have some questions that I would like us to get through today, but we'll be meeting at least 2 more times to get a really good idea of who you are. Okay, are you ready to get started? We're going to start really simple, and then we're going to get more intimate as we go on. It's okay to pass on any question that makes you uncomfortable. Your comfort is the most important part of this process. If at any time you want to take a break or need a hug, let me know. Yeah, it's a little unorthodox to offer a hug, but I have seen that sometimes these questions can be hard if you're not in the right headspace, and they can trigger really negative feelings. So, if you need a hug, I'm here. Okay. So, starting off really simply as promised. What is your profession? Okay. Is that something that you enjoy? Okay. No, there aren't any right or wrong answers throughout this process. I wouldn't focus on being right or wrong. I would focus on being as genuine as you can be. Some people are really proud of what they do, and some people don't want to be defined by how they earn money, and both of those are valid. Yeah. Either is fine. Okay, let's talk about hobbies. I need a minimum of 3. Okay. Cooking is such a good one, especially to start with. What do you like to cook regularly? Oh, that sounds so good. Would it be greedy of me to ask you to bring that next time we meet? Okay. Sorry, it sounds delicious. You sound like you're a fantastic cook. Okay, back to being professional. Next hobby. Role-playing games. That is so cool. Just D&D or... Okay. Call of Cthulhu. Alien. Okay. Vampire the Masquerade. That's a really good one. You are a seasoned role player, I can tell. Do you have a regular group? Yeah, I don't either. I usually play at conventions, though. It is a little lonely, not having anyone to play with regularly. We could play together if I wouldn't get fired for giving you my contact information. Oh, yeah, our boss is super strict about that kind of thing. If it got out that you had my number for whatever reason, that's my job. Yep. Okay, let's move on. Sorry I keep going off track. You're just very fun. Okay, one more hobby. Video games. No, you should absolutely put that down. A lot of people play video games. It's just the genre of game that tends to vary. And if you meet someone who plays, there's usually some level of game crossover and compromise. Yeah. For instance, give me some examples of what you like. Okay, Prey, Bioshock, Hunting Ground, Silent Hill. So it sounds like you like survival horror and shooters. I tend to go towards more turn-based combat role-playing games, so Persona, Final Fantasy, Baldur's Gate. That's the kind of stuff I like. But if we were to date, as an example, I would definitely try playing Silent Hill. Yeah, I've heard great things about the franchise, and I think Konami is working on a re-release of 2, which I've always wanted to play. I've heard it's really good. You own Silent Hill 2. The PS3 version, I heard that was really bad. The computer one, though, I heard was good, if you get all the mods. The PS2 version, you still have a PS2? That's incredible. I'm so jealous. That's so cool. Stop tempting me. I would love to come over. I don't want to get fired. I need this job. All right. We got distracted again. Let's focus. Okay. We're about to start getting more personal with our questions, so if at any time you're uncomfortable, please just let me know. Okay. How much dating experience have you had? Please, don't be shy. There's nothing to worry about here. Yeah, judgment-free zone. Why do we ask that question? Well, people who have dated a lot tend to have more concrete preferences. I spend a lot of time with them going over their experiences and kind of following their trail to see how they got to where they are. People who have had less dating experience, the conversation tends to be a little different. Not to say that they don't have preferences, but upon discussion, if we bring up topics that they've never considered, things can change or evolve. So I approach that conversation more openly. Of course, you don't have to answer this at all if you don't feel comfortable. Okay. That is nothing to be embarrassed about. Yeah. There's way more variation in dating frequency among people than you'd think. Thank you for trusting me. You've been great throughout this process so far. So, oh yeah, you've been a lot of fun. Okay, next question. Any pet peeves or things you'd like to avoid in a romantic partner? Examples. Well, for me, I don't like little lies for no reason. Like when someone says, oh, I got the chocolate cake, and you both know they got the vanilla, but the person they're talking to prefers chocolate, so they just say they got chocolate to get brownie points. I hate stuff like that. Yeah, people do that all the time. It's really annoying. Okay, I will make a note that you don't like that. But I do need answers from you. Okay, someone who isn't willing to share chores. Are you speaking from personal experience on that one? Well, it looked like you were sucking on a lemon when you said it, so. Oh, I get it. I've been there. It's really hard if you're both working and only one of you is cleaning. Okay. Anything else? Lack of communication. Yeah, that drives me up the wall. Say what you mean to mean what you say, right? Exactly. It's always fun to share pet peeves. I feel like it brings people together. All right, moving on here. What are some things you're looking for in a partner? Kindness. You know, that's really sweet. Yeah, not a lot of people pick kindness as their first choice. I take my clients' privacy very seriously, so I'm not going to say what they usually pick. I can tell you my first choice if you like. Okay. Sense of humor. I love to laugh. It's probably the quickest way to get me to fall in love with you. No, that was not an invitation to make jokes. Okay, you need to stop being cute. It's very distracting. I'm trying to do my job. You need to tone down the cuteness. What was I talking about? Things you're looking for in a partner. Sense of humor. You are a copycat. Yes, I mean, I agree it's important. Of course it's important, but we're trying to make sure that you find your perfect someone. Oh, you're trying to make sure that we match. Well, that's unnecessary because I'm not on dating apps. Yeah, I mean, I do have a bunch of alternate accounts for work, so I can learn how the algorithm works and have a good idea of what profiles do well. But I don't have one for myself. Mostly because I'm stubborn and dumb. I have this lame idea that if I meet my soulmate, it'll just happen. I'll be standing at a coffee shop or by the train and it'll just hit me, you know? It's a really dumb holdover from when I was a little girl and I was obsessed with the idea of true love. This job is helping me get over that though. I've seen a lot of really good people fall in love from just having a put together profile. Anyway, you've completely derailed me. This was supposed to be about you, but now we're at time. And I've barely started this sheet. And I am going to get in trouble. This is a really weird thing to ask, and it could get me in a lot of hot water, but do you mind if I call you later this evening and get the rest of your answers for the first part of this sheet? You want to finish it over drinks. You really are trying to get me fired, huh? Fine, I'll do it. But just drinks, okay? And this is not a date. This is a professional rendezvous. Here. Take my card. Give me a call at around 8 and we'll meet at a restaurant. Okay. I'll see you tonight.